head honcho, nigga, no tonto, nigga. I'm quick to put some bricks in a Bronco, nigga. Nigga talking shit while I don't respond at all, nigga. No murder, no dough, no combo, nigga. Don't be blowing me up, nigga, I ain't getting up. If it ain't about the money, ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time. If it ain't about the money.
So T.I., nice to meet you.
Likewise.
You're here to present your 9th album. It's called Paperwork.
It is.
So can you tell us how you came with the name Paperwork?
The name Paperwork, after challenged by Pharrell, who is the executive producer of the project, after being challenged by him to come up with another title aside from Trouble Man Part 2, I pretty much just tried to pull from my most diversified work in the past, and I think that that easily can be considered paper trail. So rather than just, you know, throw a number after paper trail, I just tried to find something that would relate it, but still keep it as an individual project. And then, you know, I just started paper this, paper that, paper. So, and eventually I stumbled across paperwork. And the definition of paperwork is the certification of all things authentic. So if you want to check the authenticity of an item, you would refer to the paperwork. Me being an artist of authenticity, me making music of authenticity, I feel like this album can be referred to as the certification thereof. That's why it's called Paperwork.
Okay. I read in an interview that you said that you recorded 200 songs. 250
now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to get to that one?
Everybody asks that. I mean, really, man, I just, it's a sixth sense, you know what I mean? I kind of break it down into categories of what types of records are most needed to fill a project, and usually the first 5 or 6 will probably hit me over the head. So they'll solidify themselves, and as we make more records, we fill in blanks, and as the process continues and progresses, we will find there's a void. If we make a track listing, we're like, okay, well, we need this type record. So we'll refer back to the catalog, and if there's not one already in the catalog, then we'll begin to set out to make this record. And usually when we set out to make this record, we'll make about 5 or 6 of them and pick the best one. So I mean, we have 4 more or 5 more to add to the rest of the catalog. So there's a backlog of music, probably over all 9 albums, probably about a good 1,000 records or so.
I wonder what my goal is. They think it's going gold, haven't sweating me. That I'm in it for the longevity. Picture me as one of the greatest that'll ever be. Comparing me to Tupac, B.I.G. and JayZ. We're legends like Organo, IZ and JD. Neptunes, they even flow on one of Dre's beats.
You mentioned earlier that Pharrell is executive producing the album. He was on your first album, Serious, and the single with Benny Man. So can you talk about the early days, the first time you met him?
Pharrell, man, was always just an extremely genuine supporter from day one. I don't know whether it was, I think it was probably whatever he heard from me. He heard my music before he'd actually met me. So whatever he'd heard, it spoke to him in a way that when he met me, he kind of felt like he knew me already, which is, you know, I appreciate that. And back then, he was like, you know, and still is, you know what I'm saying, like one of the hottest things going in music. And I, without question, wanted to work with him, but my budget would not support his fee. And you know what I'm saying, we spoke for a few minutes, and before long, I got a call saying that, you know, he kind of like waived his fees just so we could, you know, go in and work. And with that notice, I was headed to Virginia, and we recorded the 2 records that was on the first album, I'm Serious and Pussy Pumper.
I remember back then in all his interview was saying that you were the JayZ of the South.
Yeah, he laid it on thick, didn't he? I mean, I appreciate, I mean, Pharrell has very high expectations for me, you know, and I welcome it. I welcome the challenge. I mean, but when you get to comparing me, you know, I've been called the JayZ of the South. I've been called the Tupac of today. I've been called just about everything anyone could be called to want to stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what it is, but I appreciate it. I'm humbled by it, and you know, I just give all my effort and energy towards living up to it.
And how was it now to work with him on this new album?
How was it working on the new project, man? It was different. It was different. You know, because we did so much music, we got to experiment a lot more. Usually when we go in, I'll tell him what kind of record I want from him.
Yeah.
This time, we went in because we knew that we were just going to go in infinitely. So, you know, it wasn't like I only have this day, so I got to get everything I can out of these days. It was, when I went in, I was like, what you want to do? You know? And he's like, yo, I was just thinking, something just hit me, and you know what? Just wait a minute. I'm gonna play it for you. And in about 10 minutes, he'll get to beating around, and he'll have a very eclectic combination of sounds and rhythms, and I'll say, okay, where you going with it, you know? And he'll go in the booth and he'll do something, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. Then I go in there and I do something, and then we'll sit back and we'll just observe, you know what I'm saying? And after it's done, we'll analyze it and say whether it's a keeper, whether it needs more work, or, you know what I mean? We've done like somewhere between 12 to 20 songs just for this project.
One of your longtime partner in music is DJ Toomp.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship?
DJ Toomp, man, that's the first producer that I was afforded the opportunity to work with. My cousin, my blood cousin, actually introduced me. He pulled me up to DJ Toomp house one day, motivating me to stick with music during a time when I was running the streets real heavy, and everybody was really just trying to encourage me to step away from that life and focus more on the music. And I didn't have a lot of light being shown. I had no real insight on how to break into the industry. I didn't have any powerful contacts. You know, I was really just selling dope every day, writing raps in my spare time, going to the studio when I can.
It was like late 90s?
This was, yeah, late 90s, 98, 90, 97, 98, 99, somewhere in there. Actually, no, 97, 98. 99 is when it all came together. So this was, I met Toomp like 97, 98. And immediately we began, he gave me a cassette tape at the time with like 5 or 6 beats on them. And I went and wrote songs to all of them. And we went to the studio, laid them down. That was my demo. And we did a demo in a day. Like, you know, I did like all 4 of the records in a day. And from there, we just started moving around the town and creating awareness, making sure that people, you know, knew me, heard me, met me. But in the meantime, I still had my day job. and so, you know what I'm saying, it was all like an elaborate scheme to get me away from the day job.
Fuck a bitch if she don't do her hair no more. And you don't get no dick if it's a push down there. Girl, I should see nothing but pussy when I look down there. They come forward with a nigga, what better to do? He called and asked you how you doing.
There is Iggy Azalea on this track.
Yeah.
She's signed to Brand also.
Yeah.
So what did you saw in her back then?
What did I see in Iggy, man? It was I don't know. It was like she has like a killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? It's an extreme eye of the tiger there, you know.
Ain't no mediocre, don't want no mediocre. I won't hit no mediocre. You a bad bitch, stuntin' on a mediocre. On a mediocre, you stand on a mediocre. Seven, bitch, you with me and none on mediocre. From their head to their toes, they so far from mediocre. Yeah.
Heard he wanna lay it down on Iggy. Iggy gave it to him twice. Now he want a 3 mic baby diva, but I need a bad boy. Rest in peace, Whitney. Pardon me, but I don't think none of these bitches fucking with me. Wanna build